In an age of unprecedented progress, why does society feel more lost than ever? We have faster technology, greater connectivity, and boundless knowledge at our fingertips. Yet loneliness, anxiety, and despair are on the rise. Today we're diving into one of the most profound contradictions of our time, the paradox of progress. How did we get here? And what can we do to reclaim meaning in a world that seems to prioritize efficiency over humanity? The story of human progress is a tale of triumphs and tragedies. From the invention of the wheel to the rise of artificial intelligence, we've accomplished feats that would have seemed impossible just centuries ago. Yet, despite these advancements, many people report feeling emptier than ever before. Studies show rising rates of depression, burnout, and existential dread. What's going wrong? Is it possible that our relentless pursuit of progress has come at a cost, one we're only now beginning to understand? In this video, we'll explore how modern society has become alienated from its own humanity. We'll examine the role of technology, the loss of meaning, and the dangers of perfectionism. We'll also draw on the wisdom of philosophers like Søren Kierkegaard and Albert Camus, as well as insights from psychology and sociology. By the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of why progress feels so paradoxical, and actionable steps to rediscover fulfillment in a hyper-connected world. For centuries, humanity has chased the dream of progress. The Industrial Revolution promised prosperity. The digital age promised connection. But somewhere along the way, we began to lose sight of what truly matters. Progress was supposed to make life easier, happier, and more fulfilling. Instead, it has left many of us feeling disconnected, from others, from ourselves, and from the world around us. To understand this contradiction, let's look at the history of progress. During the Enlightenment, thinkers like Immanuel Kant championed reason and science as tools for liberation. They envisioned a future where education, innovation, and rationality would free humanity from ignorance and superstition. This vision inspired revolutions, industrial breakthroughs, and the rise of modern democracies. For a time, it seemed like the promise of progress was being fulfilled. But as the 20th century unfolded, cracks began to appear. World wars, economic collapses, and environmental crises exposed the dark side of unchecked progress. Technological advancements brought both convenience and destruction. The atomic bomb, for instance, symbolized humanity's ability to harness immense power, but also its capacity for self-destruction. Similarly, the internet revolutionized communication but also created new forms of isolation and misinformation. Beneath the shiny facade of innovation lies a deeper truth, that progress alone cannot solve the human condition. While material comforts have improved, our emotional and spiritual needs remain unmet. As sociologist Max Weber famously noted, modernity has created an iron cage, a system where rationalization and bureaucracy strip life of its magic. We measure success in terms of wealth, status, and achievements, but these metrics leave us spiritually bankrupt. When we reach the top, we often find only emptiness. Technology was meant to connect us, but instead, it often isolates us. Social media creates the illusion of community, yet studies show it increases feelings of loneliness and inadequacy. Why? Because technology prioritizes quantity over quality. It encourages superficial interactions rather than meaningful connections. Likes, shares, and comments become substitutes for genuine relationships. Consider the design of social media platforms. Algorithms are engineered to maximize engagement, often by triggering dopamine hits through notifications and likes. This creates a feedback loop where users constantly seek validation without ever feeling truly satisfied. Psychologists call this phenomenon social comparison theory, the idea that we evaluate ourselves based on how we stack up against others. On social media, this comparison is amplified, leading to feelings of inadequacy and envy. But the problem isn't just individual, it's systemic. Technology shapes not only how we interact but also how we perceive reality. Filters and editing tools allow us to present idealized versions of ourselves, creating unrealistic standards of beauty and success. Meanwhile, algorithms curate content that reinforces our existing beliefs, creating echo chambers that polarize society. As philosopher Byung-Chul Han argues, digital technologies turn us into transparent subjects, constantly surveilled and commodified by corporations. To understand the depth of this alienation, consider the concept of technological determinism. This theory suggests that technology shapes culture and society in ways beyond our control. For example, the smartphone has fundamentally altered how we communicate, work, and even think. While it offers convenience, it also fragments our attention and erodes our ability to engage deeply with the world around us. In short, Technology has transformed us into consumers of experiences rather than participants in them. But the problem goes deeper than technology. At its core, the paradox of progress stems from a loss of meaning. In our quest for efficiency and productivity, we've forgotten how to slow down, reflect, and ask the big questions. Sociologist Max Weber described modernity as an iron cage, where rationalization and bureaucracy strip life of its magic. We measure success in terms of wealth, status, and achievements, but these metrics leave us spiritually bankrupt. To illustrate this point, let's revisit the philosophies of Søren Kierkegaard and Albert Camus. Kierkegaard argued that the root of modern despair lies in our inability to confront the absurdity of existence. He believed that faith, not reason or progress, was the key to finding meaning. For Kierkegaard, true fulfillment comes from embracing the subjective, personal aspects of life, the things that can't be quantified or measured. Similarly, Albert Camus urged us to embrace the absurd, to find joy in the struggle itself, even when the outcome remains uncertain. In his famous essay The Myth of Sisyphus, Camus reimagines the Greek legend of Sisyphus, condemned to roll a boulder uphill for eternity. Despite the futility of his task, Sisyphus finds meaning in his defiance. For Camus, rebellion against the meaningless was an act of affirmation, a way to assert our humanity in the face of chaos. These philosophers remind us that meaning isn't something we find, it's something we create. It's about choosing to live authentically, even in the face of uncertainty. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, echoed this sentiment in his seminal work Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl argued that even in the darkest moments, humans can find purpose through love, creativity, and responsibility. His insights offer a powerful antidote to the nihilism that often accompanies modern life. Søren Kierkegaard argued that the root of modern despair lies in our inability to confront the absurdity of existence. He believed that faith, not reason or progress, was the key to finding meaning. For Kierkegaard, true fulfillment comes from embracing the subjective, personal aspects of life, the things that can't be quantified or measured. Albert Camus took a different approach. In The Rebel, he explored the tension between order and chaos, arguing that rebellion is essential to maintaining balance. For Camus, rebellion wasn't about overthrowing systems but about affirming life in all its complexity. He saw it as a way to resist the dehumanizing forces of modernity while remaining grounded in reality. Philosophers like Martin Heidegger also weighed in on the crisis of modernity. In Being in Time, Heidegger critiqued the way technology reduces everything, including humans, to mere resources. He called for a return to being in the world, emphasizing the importance of dwelling authentically within our surroundings. This perspective challenges us to rethink our relationship with nature, technology, and each other. Taken together, these philosophical perspectives highlight the need for a paradigm shift. Instead of viewing progress purely in material terms, we must redefine it to include emotional, spiritual, and communal dimensions. Only then can we address the underlying causes of our collective sense of loss. So, how do we reclaim humanity in a world obsessed with progress? The answer lies in rediscovering what truly fulfills us: relationships, creativity, and purpose. By slowing down and prioritizing these aspects of life, we can begin to break free from the iron cage of modernity. One way to start is by embracing mindfulness. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and journaling, help us reconnect with our inner selves. They encourage us to step away from the constant noise of technology and focus on the present moment. Research shows that mindfulness reduces stress, improves mental health, and enhances overall well-being. For example, a study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that mindfulness meditation significantly reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression in participants. These findings underscore the importance of cultivating awareness in a fast-paced world. Another key to reclaiming humanity is fostering authentic relationships. In an era dominated by digital interactions, face-to-face connections are more valuable than ever. Studies show that strong social ties improve physical and mental health, increase longevity, and enhance resilience. For instance, the Harvard Study of Adult Development, one of the longest-running longitudinal studies on happiness, found that close relationships are the single most important factor in determining long-term well-being. This highlights the need to prioritize quality over quantity when it comes to human interaction. Community also plays a crucial role in combating alienation. Historically, humans thrived in tight-knit groups where cooperation and shared values were central. Today, urbanization and individualism have eroded these bonds. Yet, communities still exist, if we choose to seek them out. Volunteering, joining local groups, or simply engaging in deep conversations can help us rediscover the power of connection. Community reminds us that we are not alone, that our struggles and triumphs are part of something larger than ourselves. To illustrate this point, consider the rise of grassroots movements in response to global crises. From climate activism to social justice initiatives, ordinary people are coming together to address systemic issues. These movements demonstrate the transformative potential of collective action. They remind us that progress isn't just about technological innovation, it's about building a better future for everyone. One antidote to the alienation of modern life is community. Historically, humans thrived in tight-knit groups where cooperation and shared values were central. Tribes, villages, and neighborhoods provided a sense of belonging and security. However, modern society has shifted away from these structures, emphasizing individual achievement over communal well-being. This shift has had profound consequences. Urbanization, globalization, and the rise of digital communication have fragmented traditional communities. People now live farther apart, both physically and emotionally, leading to increased feelings of isolation. A 2020 survey conducted by Cigna revealed that nearly 2/3 of Americans report feeling lonely, a figure that has likely worsened since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. But community doesn't have to be a relic of the past. It can, and must, be rebuilt for the modern age. One way to do this is through intentional living. Co-housing projects, for example, bring people together in shared spaces designed to foster connection. Residents collaborate on household tasks, share meals, and support one another during difficult times. These arrangements offer a glimpse of what community could look like in the 21st century. Technology can also play a positive role if used thoughtfully. Online platforms like Meetup and Nextdoor enable people to connect based on shared interests and geographic proximity. Virtual communities, though not a substitute for in-person interaction, can provide valuable support networks. For instance, online forums dedicated to mental health or chronic illness allow individuals to share experiences and advice, reducing feelings of isolation. The benefits of community extend beyond personal well-being. Strong social bonds contribute to societal resilience, enabling groups to weather challenges more effectively. During natural disasters, for example, communities with robust social networks recover faster than those without. This underscores the importance of investing in relationships, not just as individuals but as a society. Another factor contributing to our collective sense of loss is perfectionism. Modern society glorifies achievement, pushing us to constantly strive for more. Social media exacerbates this trend by showcasing curated versions of reality. Influencers, celebrities, and even peers present idealized lifestyles that set unrealistic standards. As a result, many people feel inadequate no matter how much they accomplish. Perfectionism takes a toll on mental health. Research shows that it increases the risk of anxiety, depression, and burnout. A 2018 study published in Psychological Bulletin found that rates of perfectionism have risen significantly among young adults over the past 3 decades. The researchers attribute this trend to rising academic and professional pressures, as well as the pervasive influence of social media. To counteract perfectionism, we must redefine success, not as an endpoint but as a journey. Embracing imperfection allows us to live more fully, authentically, and joyfully. Psychologist Carol Dweck's concept of a growth mindset offers a useful framework. According to Dweck, individuals with a growth mindset view challenges as opportunities for learning rather than threats to their self-worth. This perspective fosters resilience and encourages experimentation, helping us overcome the fear of failure. Practical strategies for combating perfectionism include setting realistic goals, practicing self-compassion, and celebrating small victories. Journaling can be particularly helpful, allowing us to process emotions and reframe negative thoughts. Cognitive behavioral techniques, such as challenging irrational beliefs and reframing failures as learning experiences, can also reduce perfectionistic tendencies. Ultimately, overcoming perfectionism requires a cultural shift. We must reject the notion that worth is tied to productivity or achievement. Instead, we should celebrate effort, vulnerability, and authenticity. By doing so, we create space for meaningful growth, both individually and collectively. Progress often gives us the illusion of control. We believe that if we work harder, plan better, or innovate faster, we can shape our destinies. But life is inherently unpredictable. No amount of technology or efficiency can shield us from uncertainty. Accepting this reality is liberating. It frees us from the exhausting need to micromanage every aspect of our lives and opens us up to the beauty of spontaneity and serendipity. To understand the limits of control, consider the Stoic philosophy of Marcus Aurelius. In Meditations, he emphasizes the distinction between what we can and cannot control. According to Aurelius, external events, such as wealth, health, and reputation, are ultimately outside our influence. What we can control, however, is our response to these events. By focusing on internal virtues like courage, wisdom, and temperance, we cultivate resilience in the face of adversity. Modern psychology echoes this sentiment. The Serenity Prayer, popularized by Alcoholics Anonymous, captures the essence of Stoicism. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. This simple yet profound mantra reminds us to let go of what we cannot control and channel our energy into constructive action. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means acknowledging the inherent unpredictability of life. For example, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT, teaches patients to observe their thoughts without judgment, reducing rumination and anxiety. Similarly, existential psychotherapy encourages clients to confront mortality and meaninglessness, fostering a deeper appreciation for life's fleeting nature. By embracing uncertainty, we open ourselves to new possibilities. Spontaneous moments, whether meeting a stranger who becomes a lifelong friend or stumbling upon a hidden gem in an unfamiliar city, remind us of life's richness. These experiences challenge the myth of control, revealing that some of the best moments arise when we relinquish our grip on outcomes. History offers valuable lessons about the dangers of unchecked progress. The Roman Empire fell not because of external threats, but because of internal decay, corruption, inequality, and moral decline. Similarly, the rapid industrialization of the 19th century led to environmental degradation and social unrest. These examples remind us that progress without purpose is unsustainable. Take the Industrial Revolution, for instance. While it brought unprecedented economic growth, it also created dire working conditions, child labor, and urban squalor. The exploitation of workers sparked movements for labor rights, eventually leading to reforms. This demonstrates that progress often comes at a cost, one that society must address proactively. The atomic bomb serves as another cautionary tale. Developed during World War II, nuclear weapons represented humanity's ability to harness immense power, but also its capacity for destruction. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki left scars that persist to this day, reminding us of the ethical dilemmas posed by technological advancement. More recently, the digital revolution has raised similar concerns. While the internet democratized access to information, it also enabled misinformation, cyberbullying, and surveillance capitalism. Platforms like Facebook and Twitter have transformed how we communicate, but they've also polarized societies and undermined trust in institutions. These historical examples highlight the importance of aligning progress with ethical considerations. To avoid repeating past mistakes, we must balance innovation with responsibility. This means asking tough questions. Who benefits from technological advancements? Who gets left behind? And what kind of future are we building? What does a path forward look like? It begins with redefining progress, not as economic growth or technological dominance, but as holistic well-being. This means valuing mental health, fostering empathy, and protecting the environment. It means investing in education that nurtures creativity and critical thinking, rather than rote memorization. It means building systems that prioritize people over profits. Sustainability must be at the heart of this vision. Climate change poses an existential threat to humanity, yet governments and corporations continue to prioritize short-term gains over long-term survival. Transitioning to renewable energy, adopting circular economies, and preserving biodiversity are essential steps toward a sustainable future. Grassroots movements like Fridays for Future show that individuals can drive systemic change when they unite around a common cause. Equity is equally important. Progress should lift everyone, not just the privileged few. Addressing income inequality, racial injustice, and gender disparities requires bold policy interventions and grassroots activism. Universal healthcare, affordable housing, and accessible education are foundational pillars of a fairer society. Finally, we must reclaim our humanity by prioritizing relationships, creativity, and purpose. Technology should serve as a tool, not a master. By designing systems that enhance human connection rather than diminish it, we can create a future that is not only advanced but also meaningful. Progress, in its purest form, should enhance our humanity, not diminish it. As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, let's remember that the most important journey is inward. To find meaning, we must first rediscover who we are. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the noise of progress, ask yourself, what am I truly striving for? And how can I use my gifts to enrich the lives of others and my own? If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to stay updated on future content. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below.